sad situation in which a young child was murdered in the course of an aggravated robbery. This was a sophisticated style of aggravated robbery, in fact, a series of aggravated robberies, in which they were targeting, in this case, the Hispanic mom that was walking, and with her 2 children. They approached her with guns, demanded her property, and ended up shooting her as well as the 4-year-old child. The 4-year-old child was shot in the face, and Ava died as a result of that. In this matter, they were able to, through a Crime Stoppers tip, get to Philip Battles. Also, with regard to another aggravated robbery, he had property of a different aggravated robbery at his home, and that was a cell phone that had been stolen in another aggravated robbery. So he was questioned, and the officers were able to then follow up with the other individuals responsible for the death of Ava.
It's an interesting case because it sounds like they were literally on a crime spree that day, right before they had murdered a 4-year-old. Can you talk to me a little bit about that? In a stolen car, what the day seemed to be like?
Yeah, I can certainly say Philip Battles was charged with several other aggravated robberies and another robbery death. So yes, in a very short period of time, a lot of damage was done. A lot of violent acts were committed by these individuals. And so we are very interested in pursuing justice in this case.
Of these 3 men, can you talk about each of their roles in the murder?
With regard to Philip Battles, with regard to each of these individuals, the law is holding each of them responsible for helping and aiding in the whole. But Philip Battles, primarily, we intend to show that he was the driver of the stolen vehicle that was watching out to look for and prey on the victim in this case, selecting her to approach, to have them approach. We believe that Pharrell Dardar was the shooter. We believe there is evidence that he was the gunman in this case. And currently we believe that Marco Miller was acting as a lookout as well as participating in this aggravated robbery.
Miller also in the car at the time, or was he out?
All of them came in that stolen vehicle to commit these robberies.
Dardar was out on bond. Can you talk to us about that?
Mr. Pharrell Dardar was on bond for aggravated robbery, several counts of aggravated robbery, in fact, when this offense was committed.
These are capital murder charges, and yet you're dealing with a pair of 17-year-olds and an 18-year-old. At this point, what are you all looking for when it comes to clearly a guilty plea and then the sentence?
For 17-year-olds who are charged with a crime in Texas, they are held as an adult. However, capital murder works a little differently for 17-year-olds. They cannot get life without parole, for example. They are not eligible for death penalty because of their age and the youthfulness of their age. However, they can still get anything. They can get up to life in prison. With parole is what they can get on a capital murder such as this.
Can you talk about any of them who have admitted to their part? I know that was discussed in court today.
I can say that all of them spoke with the police. Philip Battles was admitted only to him being the driver of the stolen vehicle involved in the aggravated robbery. None of them called themselves the shooter. You know, everybody was careful to not want to take responsibility for the death of this 4-year-old child.
But in a case like this, that really doesn't matter.
In Texas, the law is if you help and you are purposefully involving yourself in an aggravated robbery, then somebody is killed in the course of that, everyone can be held criminally responsible for that shooter's actions. And in this case, as far as a capital murder goes, not only do we have a case in which they were committing a robbery when the murder happened, they killed a 4-year-old child. That also, in and of itself, is a capital murder. So this is almost like 2 levels or layers of capital murder that happened in this case.
Can you tell how many shots were fired in the course of the robbery?
I'm still getting that information in.
Were this the 3 same involved with the older gentleman that killed? Ignacio.
Philip Battles is the only one that has been charged with another capital murder at this time.
And was the shot to the 4-year-old, do we know if that was intentional, or can you tell that yet?
The shot to the 4-year-old was in the forehead. A gun shooting at the head of a child is indicative of intent.
You continue to say, Ava, 4-year-old child. I'm sure you've spoken with her mother. You've visited with the family. One of my last questions for you, Angela, is as you continue to prepare for this case, what is in the forefront of your thought process?
My thoughts, my prayers go out to this family. I think the community has been very supportive at this terrible time, at this Christmas time, to be there for them. But there's no rest or relief for this mother or for this family.
And the next time they'll be in court, we don't know that date yet, do we?
No, but it will be coming.
Some of them have court dates very soon for other aggravated assaults. Am I correct?
I would have to check on the dates.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you.
That's Battles. Oh, there's the other ones. Sorry, guys.